Thank you, Jeremy. Hope everybody's doing well and welcome.
Coach, hold on a second. You got something in front of your camera there. There we
There
go.
you go. It was my sheet.
Ross, can you put something in front of your camera?
Jeremy, that was really rude.
That was really
Sorry,
mean, Coach.
That was rude.
It's
That was really mean.
one dig and availability at Ross is what we've
Yeah.
agreed upon.
Well, and Ross has got a new look, so we get to watch it. See that's he's disguised.
It's a
That
mustache.
is it. Welcome everybody, and hope you're doing well and staying safe during these continued crazy times. The first thing I want to do is thank Coach Jay Bateman and Javon DeWitt for all the hard work they put in here, and I'm glad both of them landed at a good place. They're good people, outstanding men and fathers and husbands and great coaches, and they did a tremendous job for us. And it's a hard business, and sometimes just things don't work as well at times. And our job is to give the young people the everything they need to have a chance to win, and that's the responsibility we have for each other and for the university. So and our fan base. So in saying that, I'm glad they're settled and got good jobs at Florida and Florida International, and we appreciate all that they've done here. So to quickly recap the 3 years we've had, I've had a lot of time to reflect since the bowl game. And the first year we far exceeded expectations, won 2 games the year before, 3 the year before, no bowl games, and we won 7 and had a chance at Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh to have won 9, which would far have exceeded anything that any of us could have imagined, and then won a bowl game. Then we come back the second year and we go to the Orange Bowl for the first time in 71 years or something. It was just a fun year and a great year, and could have easily won 10 that year as 8. Losing late at Virginia and losing late at Florida State and losing to number 2 and number 5. But we were really, really on track. And then this year, we ended up, we did some good things that probably got overlooked because the expectations were so high, but we fell short, far short of our goals. And we didn't get done what we wanted to get done or needed to get done. And that's why I felt like that we had to make some changes. We also had a good recruiting year our first year here, and we've had 2 great recruiting years, this one being unbelievable. And it's been fun to watch some of these young guys. The kids are really pumped about the opportunities for new defense, and Coach Chizik and what he brings with 2 national championships to our plate and head coaching experience. Coach Charlton Warren, being an Air Force graduate, a guy for 10 years in Special Forces, is an outstanding human being that has fought for our country. But both of those guys have really impressed our guys, because since I've gotten back from recruiting, I've had a chance to sit down and talk to a lot of players, and they had their first defensive meeting yesterday morning, and I think it got off to a really, really good start. Offensively, we've done some really good things. We need to tweak some things. I've been in those meetings. We've got some different people coming in that we're going to visit with, but I'm excited about the defensive players that we have returning, and we played some good defense. We're just too inconsistent and gave up too many big plays. Offensively, it's obvious what we've got to do. We've got to protect better. We've got to have fewer sacks. Going to have some. I think what Cincinnati won the other day and had 9 sacks in a pro game, but you can't do that. We've got to get that cleaned up. And we've had too many tackles for loss, but we've still run the ball well. And we've got young quarterbacks, so it should be a real fun spring to explore the new things we're going to do and the things that we're going to do to shore up that protection. And then special teams, we've been really good at times. We haven't been great because we've been good or awful. And we led the country in block punts, but we also gave up 4 block punts, which you can't possibly do. So looking forward to Coach Porter and the entire staff attacking special teams. And I've said it for the 3 years we've been here, we've got to continue to improve, and that's another area. So we have a lot of room to improve in all 3 phases. I've never been more excited about the start of spring practice, because we've got some great young players that will be competing in the spring for opportunities to play. But we also have some things that we need to correct with scheme. we had 3 very productive weeks in recruiting. It was fun for everybody to get back and get in schools again and see coaches and have kids on our campus. We had a huge junior day last weekend, about 40 juniors in here with parents. And it hurts us some when they have February go dead because we don't have opportunities for families to come in for basketball games. And that was a huge thing for us. So it's really not good for us to have February is dead. The other thing is you bring in 8 early enrollees and 2 grad transfers, and then you go immediately on the road, you don't get to see them. So that's a flaw in our system, that we're all gone when they're here and we need to be around them some. So we've got to look at our recruiting schedule and see if there's anything we could do better there, because a lot more people are bringing in graduate transfers now and early enrollees than ever before. But the last couple of days, it's been fun to watch them. That group of 10 new people, the 8 early enrollees and the 2 graduate transfers, are really impressive. They're going to bring a lot to our spring practice and to our team. So that's been fun to watch. The other thing we're going to do is adjust our freshman availability policy for you folks. These guys are around a lot more media. We started this procedure with them not being able to speak till they played in a game with Coach Smith. And Coach Smith didn't think freshmen should speak before they played. And I thought it was a good idea. So we've done it for 30 years. But now these young guys are being so highly recruited. They talk to media all the time. Jeremy will take from now until after the first week of spring practice and talk to them about media and engagement and press conferences and ask questions. But after and Jeremy can clean it up, but after they've been here for 3 practices, watch some of the other guys being interviewed, then the early enrollees and the freshman class will be available for you to interview if you would like to. And that's just a change we thought we needed to modernize. And that's something we needed to do because these young guys talk to the media a lot. And that didn't happen before the recruiting process like it is. And also it didn't happen before when we didn't have as much social media. But they're an impressive group, and I've been talking to them. They've been laughing, and one of them did ask me, "Why don't you let us talk to the media? We've talked to them for 3 years." And I said, "You're right." So we're going to do that. I just think it's the right thing to do. Kevin Donnelly did an outstanding job for us as Director of High School Relations. Now he is taking over the Director of the Coleman Game Plan for Success. It's a leadership role that Jim Coleman and their family, when they gave us the money for the indoor practice area, also wanted to have a leadership role. And Kevin's perfect for that, being a graduate and being an NFL player. What he will be doing is he's going to be working on different types of leadership for our team, because you've got to teach leadership. We've got to continue to do that. He will be working on internships for the kids while they're here, hoping that they can work for somebody here that they can continue to work for when they get out of college or get through playing pro football. He's going to work to get our current players jobs when they get out. He will work with Coach Moody to go through the NFL process for our guys when they're trying to determine if they're going out or stay, if they're leaving early, trying to determine which agent to take, trying to look for a financial advisor, because Kevin will be very valuable in that position because he's done all that and he's been there, and he's very, very successful in the pros and still has a relationship with the Panthers. And he'll also continue to build a relationship with our letterman and try to connect our players with letterman as they get ready to leave school as well. So we're very excited that one of ours, another guy that played for me, is able to come in and do such an outstanding job with the high school coaches. But now he's going to get more involved with the leadership of our team and be very, very involved. He'll have an office on the 3rd floor. And then to take his place, we also took a North Carolina graduate, Alex Mars, and he will become the Director of High School Relations. Alex played here in 2010 through 14 under both Butch Davis and Larry Fedora. Obviously, he's a UNC grad. He was a 2-year letterman as a deep snapper, and after graduation, he joined our staff as a quality control coach for the offense. His father, Doug, has been a high school coach in Virginia and North Carolina for 42 years. So with his love for this place, his love for high school coaches through his dad, he knows all of them anyway, with his dad's relationship. So we're very, very excited that Alex is taking over that role. Next, my contract has been extended. This is something they talked to me about after the season. Each year after the season, we sit down and talk, and they want to keep it at 5 years. And I'm very thankful to the university, to Bubba, to Kevin, to the board of trustees and the board of governors, that they would show that faith in me. And I take a tremendous amount of pride in making sure that we continue to have this program grow and get it where it needs to be. And I know that's something that people always talk about at my age, but I'm healthy. I'm energized. I didn't like the way we finished this year, and I'm all over it and can't wait to get started. And lastly, it is National Signing Day, so it's a good day to announce a contract extension. But also, we added another player to our football team, and I really, really like this young man and their family. It's Spencer Rolland. He's a spring graduate, and his degree is in mechanical engineering, and he has a minor in astrophysics at Harvard. He is near a 4.0 student. He has 2 years left of eligibility, which is unusual for a grad transfer as an offensive lineman. He's 6'6", about 290. He started 20 games at Harvard over 2 years. He's first team All Ivy League. He was a finalist for the Doris Robinson Award. It's an award given after the wife of Eddie Robinson in her name. And it's for the FCS student athlete that excels in the classroom and the community. He was a semi-finalist for the Campbell Award, which is the academic Heisman, and he was an academic All-American. And I love what I see from him. He's got great feet. We had a tremendous official visit with him a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, he's smart enough to pick up football, so missing spring practice won't affect him as much. But he wants to get a degree in our Keenan Flagler master's program. So that would add to his Harvard background, which is pretty powerful when you get out of here. He is also a young guy that wants to continue to grow and play in the NFL. And Stacy Searles helped us with Corey Gaynor, and now he's helped us with Spencer Rolland. And Stacy is one of the few that has, he's got 2 guys that'll be starting in the Super Bowl. Trey Hopkins for the Bengals and Andrew Whitworth for the Rams. So very seldom does somebody have 2 players that they've coached that are starting in the Super Bowl as a position coach. So any questions for me? And then we've got a special treat for you. We actually have Spencer who's going to join us and answer questions for you. Any questions for me before we have Spencer join us?
Go ahead and raise your hands and we'll move through them. Alvaro, go ahead and start us off.
Hi, Coach Brown. I hope you're having a great day. Well, my question is, what led you to the decision to extend your contract with UNC, and what does it mean to stay here until 2027?
Thank you. It's number one, I'm having fun. When I got out of coaching, I missed it. And I had a great time the first 2 years. This year, we were just inconsistent. And I stayed mad all the time. And that's not good for me. It's not good for the staff or the team. And I was yelling more than I was coaching, I'm afraid, because I'm just so disappointed like everybody else. And you get into the hype, and you get into the excitement, and you're so proud, and then it doesn't work well. You got to fix it. And I don't know that any of us did a very good job of fixing it. So we need to help the kids more. But when I get out this time, I'm through. And after I got out last time, what I realized is what I missed was mentoring the kids. I missed the game of college football and trying to help. We've got a lot of things right now that are questionable in helping college football move forward like we all love it. And I want to be part of those solutions as we look at them and go forward. But more than anything else, I want to try to help our coaches grow and have a life of joy and excitement in coaching like I have. And I want to help the players. And I think that's the biggest thing. And every day I eat lunch downstairs every day with the players just so I can sit and talk to them. And we've got a team meeting this afternoon at 4:30. So it's just it's a tough time in our country with COVID, a tough time in our country with social justice. There's a lot of mental health issues, a lot of drug and alcohol issues, and I think a position like mine is more needed and more important right now than ever before. And I like to be able to try to help and fix things, and I feel like right now I can do that with my experience.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Dina, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, thanks for joining us today. I got a couple questions. You guys have been throwing out a lot of offers. Just wanting to know, for the 23 class, will you guys be taking a bigger class, or is that still something you're thinking about?
Dina, it's the hardest thing right now to determine. And I was so careful last year. At this time last year, we had 4 scholarships to give because we didn't know who was coming back, because COVID allowed everybody to have an extra year. So what we will do is continue to look at if a guy has 3 more years and he's been here 3 years, is he planning on staying 5? Does he want to stay 6? Can he get in graduate school if he stays? If a guy's not playing, would he get in the portal and we can help him? So more than anything else right now, roster management has become relationships and communication. So we've had some people try to get players to leave our team. Tampering's at an all-time high out there. It's really awful. And our guys stayed, thank goodness. But you're just really not sure. You've got another run of transfer portal guys right after spring practice, probably, of guys that weren't happy with the amount of time they got in spring, and they can leave right after spring. So you're just not sure of your numbers. Because we took 18 last year and 17 this year, Dina, we think we will have up more 2025. So we think we'll have more of a full class. You're never sure that some of these top guys 3 years ago will be eligible to go to the NFL. So we've got to try to look at that and see if they're going to leave early. So it's one of the more fun things I have to do, but one of the tougher things I have to do right now is balance numbers and trying to figure out how many you can offer as compared to how many you can take.
And also, you're recruiting blueprint from Maryland to Georgia. By adding Coach Warren and Coach Chiswick, and especially Coach Warren's relationships as coaching in Georgia and Florida, are y'all going to kind of increase that recruiting blueprints in the Southeast with the presence that those 2 guys have had?
I went to Georgia a couple of weeks ago and spent a day or 2, and everybody down there knows them. I mean, it's like old home week when you walk into those coaches. And Gene was the head coach at Auburn, and they recruited Georgia and Atlanta very hard. And of course, Charlton's coached at Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia. So and North Carolina. So he's recruited that area for a long time. We had that discussion a few days ago, Dana, and I don't like getting out of our footprint. I like staying from Atlanta to DC because of we have a better chance to get them. They grew up knowing more about North Carolina. If they're a great student, like Sebastian Cheeks, Justin Kenyock, some of those type young guys, you can get out of your footprint. But I also think with transfer portal like it is right now, you're better off. You have a better chance to get them the closer to home they're from, and you have a better chance for them to stay. So it happened when we first got here that Coach Longo wanted to go to see a buddy, and Coach Bateman had a buddy here and he wanted to go see him. I want us to recruit our footprint. And if in the first year you got a guy that you got a relationship with and you want to make that work, I got it. But we're going to be who we are. And basically, we're going to have the majority of our team from that footprint.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross, go ahead.
All right. Hey, Coach Brown. Another recruiting question for me. Y'all lost Billy High, your general manager, recently. What's the impact of losing him? I know he did a lot for you. And what's the process and timeline for replacing him?
Yeah, Ross, great question. Billy was great for me for 3 years, and he became a right-hand man, and he's high energy and he worked really hard. And I liked him. I'm not sure he would have gone anywhere but Tennessee, but his granddad was on the athletic board at Tennessee, and he and his wife Becca are graduates, and their whole family lives there. And so it's like Robert Gillespie going back to Alabama near his mother. I got that. There's a place everybody should go. I don't want people leaving here to go where it's a lateral move or they don't have family or something. So I totally understood what Billy did, and I'm really happy for him. And we are already in the process of interviewing for that job, and we'll find a great replacement, because that is a valuable position for us, especially with NIL compliance, recruiting, roster management, all of those things. I'm all over the place. So you need somebody that works in those areas every day. And that's what Billy did for us. So I'm excited about the people who have shown interest. There's a lot of great candidates, and Corey Holiday and I are in the process right now of looking through that list to see who that perfect person is. I'm not the easiest guy to work with. So Billy put up with me. I don't know whether it's ADD or whatever it is, but I'm very demanding. I have no patience. So whoever takes it's going to have to really understand what they're getting into. And we'll probably have Billy talk to them. But hopefully should have that done here within a week or so. I didn't really want to do it, start the interview process till after signing date. It wouldn't have helped us, because the person would have come in so late. They weren't involved with any of the kids, and we really weren't recruiting anybody but juniors. And I also didn't want to disrupt somebody else's signing day. I just thought that was, I don't like people doing that to me. I don't like people leaving the day before signing date. So I just felt that for other head coaches.
Brandon, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering, with the recent release of your schedule, what are your thoughts on having 2 open dates? And I was wondering, could you also shed some light on the decision to move your FCS opponent from the end of the season to the beginning of the season?
Yes. First, I always like to have 2 open dates during the season, just for injuries and rest, just to make sure that you don't get so worn down by the end. So I haven't been able to study the schedule because we've been overloaded here. But I did get to see it a week or so ago, and I liked it. I thought it set up good for us. Secondly, I thought when Coach Fedora was here, he liked having the FCS game right before NC State. And to me, I would rather open the season with it. And I do feel like that there's a lot more energy and there's a lot more interest from our fan base late in the year than there is for a conference game than there would be for an FCS game. So I told Bubba and Rick Steinbacher, I would rather open the season with an FCS game than finish the season right before NC State. I know that's what the SEC does. I understand it's worked for us, and I thought it was a great idea by Coach Fedora. But again, I'd rather open the season. And the other thing I felt like, with all the social justice things that have been talked about the last few years, what a great welcome for us to get Florida A&M in here on national TV before the actual season starts, so we could emphasize the importance of all of these games, but especially one with them to start the season.
Alvaro, go ahead.
Well, talking about an FCS team, Grambling State has announced an NIL agreement with their student athletes that will provide each player with an annual income. What are your thoughts on this, and do you see it as an effective recruiting strategy for the future?
Yes, we do group licensing. So we have some things that come in and money goes to every player on the team. I would rather it be that way. And then maybe if you've got a superstar, there should be some agreements that at some level, if you're involved enough with the NFL or something, you could get more. But Bubba and I actually felt like it would be best to honor graduates by giving them 50,000 or 100,000 on their way out, instead of the current situation that we have without guidelines. So I think we'll see more situations like that, but I'm really, really proud of our guys. We're working hard to give them the same opportunities that other universities are giving their players. And at the same time, we don't want them to be distracted away from getting your degree, because you're going to make more money on the back end than you are the front end. And playing. We've said from day one, make it about your ball, not your brand. And if you're playing great with your ball, it's going to help your brand. So we're right now, I feel good about the direction that we're going.
All right, we'll wrap up with Coach Brown with Greg Barnes.
Good afternoon, Mack.
Hey, Greg.
You piqued my interest with your comment about tampering. What does that look like in this day and age? How has NIL affected that? And is there anything that can be done to limit those issues?
Greg, and the coaches that I'm talking to and the players that I'm talking to, even on our team, it's usually a third party. It's usually a player from another team. And they call and say, they use a different phone. If it is someone close to the other athletic department, they call and say, our guys are making this at your position. If you go in the portal, my guys have assured me that they'd love to have you come. So it's just an offer. And it's something we've got to stop. We can't let people buy people off campuses across the country. Then it becomes very unfair. And it's even unfair to the kids. So I got it in recruiting. It's always been an issue in recruiting. It just hadn't been public. But now, if a guy's on somebody else's team, leave him alone. I mean, don't be disruptive. And I'm worried about that happening, and not just for us. I'm not worried as much about us, but I've got friends that are just losing players, and that's just unfair. I mean, it's so at the end of the year, some of these teams, if they're struggling a little bit, the best players are going to say, which team can I go to win that'll pay me? And we don't need that. That was not the purpose of all this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Folks, I've never been more proud of a young guy joining our football family. And Spencer is smart. He's athletic. He's tough. I'm the only regret I've got is he can't get here tomorrow, and he's going to join us in June. So what I'm going to do is proudly turn this over to Spencer and let him talk to you a little bit. Jeremy can kind of moderate it, but let him talk to you a little bit about why he came, and then you all can ask him questions. Welcome, Spencer, and I'm sure proud that you're a Tar Heel.